Good morning, family. I just wanted to go ahead and touch bases with everyone. So, although my son did get sick and, he has a fever and runny nose, I continue the fast. And so, hopefully, the Lord just gives me strength to stay on this fast and prayerfully I don't get sick either, or my youngest doesn't get sick too. But, anyways, just going on into the dream that I had last night, I was like in a summer camp. That's what it felt like a summer camp type of vibe. And everyone was like in teams, like group teams to finish like projects, etc. And it was fun. But it was like as the project was like coming to a close, more and more people started like, heading out to their car, like they were leaving, like they were done with the project. But it wasn't finished, and so um, I was I was staying behind, and I was trying to encourage others to stay behind too and finish it. And there was this man. He he was supposed to be drawing on like a cloth. Either it was a shirt or a cloth. I can't remember. But he had this white marker. It was like chalk, and he was trying to draw. But it was like a wet chalk, like a sticky wet chalk, if you will. And he was just trying to draw out the appendix on this shirt or this cloth. And anyways, he gave up on it. And so I was trying to talk to another person in the group before they left. And I was like, can you just say what's supposed to be on the appendix? And he said it. I can't remember what it was, but it was powerful. It felt like a prayer, like the way it was. It was just like, I know, even though I don't remember anything he said, I know it was like something Bible related. And so, anyways, I spent the rest of this dream trying to write the appendix on the shirt. I woke up and I was like, you know, I didn't think there was anything significant about it as soon as I woke up. But I just came to my senses and I was like, well, let me look what an appendix is. And an appendix is something that you find at the very end of a book. Okay? So it's like your closing. Honestly, it sounded like it was at the beginning of the book when I heard it, and I was like, oh, man, don't tell me we just started. But it's at the very end of a book, and I'm gonna add the information on what an appendix is at the bottom in the comments. Also, my Bible flipped to this page again. I promise you, I have nothing that's keeping it on this page, but it did it again. And so I'm gonna include at the bottom as well in the comments a summary of what this is, because very, 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 very telling, I think, to the end times. When I looked up the summary, because I have not read the book of Jeremiah, and so I just needed to just like have some context. It really sounds like an important message for the left behind, and so I'm just gonna leave that in the summary. But moving forward, I had a dream last night, and I just wanted some interpretations on it as well as this dream, but I didn't really receive any further interpretations. So I just wanted to include it here as well to see if anyone who may watch this might have an idea. And so the interpretation that, the dream it was in 4 parts. And so the interpretation that I got was that there are 4 different groups in these end times. And the first group, it was like the first part of my dream was this woman. I saw her post on Facebook, and she was saying how she was talking about the rapture, and it caught my attention. And she was saying that she was going to stick it out like one final time, and that it was okay to do that as the bride of Christ. Like, it's okay to see and watch, and if not, that she would move on. And I saw the number 7 somewhere in there. I don't know if it was her 7th time watching or what, but the number 7 represents completeness, so there's also that. So the second part of the dream was that there was this video I was watching, and this man in the video, he was saying that men are not God, and that if we were God, we could breathe underwater. And he was daring us to just stick her head under the water and to just evolve within a split second and breathe under the water. But we couldn't do it because that's not how God designed us. And he was saying how seahorses, when they're born, they don't have to make themselves breathe under the water. It's just natural because God designed them for that. Third part, it was this old couple and they had miscarried, and it was like really, really sad to watch them because, you just knew that they would not have another kid. That was their last chance. But way later on in the dream, I saw them again, and they had a baby with them, and they were so excited. They were so happy, and their baby's name was Edward. I have to look up the meaning of Edward. I still haven't. And I was talking to them, and I was like, oh, remember to take pictures and enjoy every single moment. And the man looked at me and he said, oh yeah, this is my special one. I have 3 other daughters. And he didn't really finish that sentence, but I just kind of felt like, oh, okay, you're not really like super close with your daughters, or maybe like things didn't go the way you wanted to with them, but that this is like your chance to really just, I don't know, enjoy this child. And the woman, I was looking at her and I was expecting her to say something, but she didn't. And so I got the feeling that, this was her first child, like their first child together, but not his first children, if you will. Anyways, the last part of my dream, it was this man, and he had came, like, arrived at my house, and I just knew that he was the man I was supposed to marry. He was perfect in every way, and I would have had a good life with him. But I was mad at him because he arrived so early, and I just wasn't ready, and I was, going off on him and showing him my laundry, showing him my bed. It wasn't made up. And I was just like, you're too early. And he was so infatuated with me. It looked like he was just smiling, and even though I was being mean, it just didn't turn away him loving me. And so anyways, what I got from that is that there are 4 groups. First group is the watchers, right? The bride of Christ. And second group, the prideful people who feel like they are God. They're not watching for God at all, and they just don't realize that they're not God, right? They think that they are. They think that they have made themselves to be God on this earth. The third is the old people with the baby, and I feel like that's a promise that people let go of. Like, there are people who have been watching years and years ago, like our great aunts and people like them, and they just never thought that they would see the promise. And I feel like they're going to see it, and that it's going to be beautiful. The fourth one I got is the people who know Christ and they know that they should love him, but they're just simply not ready, They're just not ready, and they will be left behind, as well as, the prideful people who feel like they can breathe underwater. So, I feel like there's a deeper interpretation of the old couple and the last group, which is the people who aren't ready. I just haven't dived deeper into that. So, yeah, let me know what your interpretations are. Thank you for watching. Be blessed.